So tonight, going to play this Fat Ninjas combo deck. So this is a deck based around this new card, Satoru Umezawa. He's a legendary human ninja. The first passive ability is whenever you activate a Ninjutsu ability, you look at the top 3 cards of your library and put one of them in your hand, the rest on the bottom of your library. And the second ability, which is what we've kind of built the deck around, is that each creature card in your hand has ninjutsu. And so the aim of the deck is to use this ninjutsu for effect to sneak in some fatty creatures such as Toxrill or the Hellbreaker Horror. So the exact numbers of cards are basically just based around how many copies I already had from other decks and drafts and things, but you can adjust them to your liking. Jin-Gitaxias, the new Phyrexian Praetor card, could be a good addition here, another 7-drop. So yeah, I'd consider maybe dropping to 2 Toxrills. You could put in 2 horrors or a horror and a Jin-Gitaxias. We also have a Junji, the Midnight Sky, as a kind of reanimator effect, so that if we discard or get one of these creatures killed, we can potentially bring that back early with Junji as well. And the same with Drainer, though Drainer's more likely to, since the opponent gets to pick the creature, probably just going to be pulling back things like the Ghast and Eye Twitch. Besides that, we have some creatures that are based around enabling the ninjutsu. So Eye Twitch for an evasive creature, also Thousand Face Shadow, which is a ninjutsu creature that can potentially copy one of our other creatures, though it won't work on legendary creatures. So basically the Hellbreaker Horror or one of these smaller creatures are the main targets of that ability. And then 2 copies of Stowaway. Again, the numbers are just based on what I had available. I would probably put 4 of these in the deck if I had the cards. 2 Yanti Melisons as a kind of substitute for the Stowaway. And then some Silver Fur Masters, which buffs our smaller creatures and also makes the ninjutsu skill from Satoru 1 mana cheaper, so we can potentially get these out for 3 mana. And then other than that, it's just some ramp and stuff with the Ghast and Deadly Dispute, Eye Twitch for card value, and then a few counter spells to try and protect Satoru and the fatty creatures once we get them out. So 1 Test of Talents, 2 copies of Negate, some Dwari Disruptions which double as lands, and Malevolent Hermit, and then a couple of copies of Fading Hope as a backup, either removal or saving one of these creatures. So the Fading Hopes can work well, since this deck normally takes, I think turn 4 is about the earliest you can get anything happening. So these can slow down a deck like Mono White or Mono Green or one of the Magecraft decks enough so that you can get your own combo going. And the sideboard are just lesson cards to pull with the Eye Twitch. So yeah, I think that's enough of an intro to the deck. Let's get into some games. Hand looks good. So we can hopefully draw into a Satoru. We've got pretty much everything else we need otherwise. So the other nice thing about this deck is it can play kind of just as a regular ramping Dimir control deck, because you've got the Ghast and the Deadly Dispute. Okay, they flashed in before attackers. See if they fall for this. And I guess they should have seen that coming, given that I'd already played the Gust. And so we're playing against Ninjutsu as well. Alright, there's our Satoru. And we have the mana for a negate. Or a Juari Disruption if they happen to play something that we can't hit with negate. Another Silver Master. And a Rogue class. Yeah, I think that one we can go for Disruption. So they've got no mana up for Ninjutsu. The only thing we don't have is I think we're going to have to get the Melisson out before we can do anything interesting. Didn't have an unblockable creature to use the ninjutsu effect. -1/-1 can't block. I'm okay with that. We can still activate Toxrill. Just take the damage. Already got the counter spell. Probably get Test of Talents anyway. I guess they're just going all out with trying to kill me. Actually, they might have enough damage here. Yeah, I think they do. So we would just well, actually we died by keeping the mana up for the counter spell. If we'd played the Shambling Ghast, we could have blocked an extra 2 damage, which might have been the smarter play if I'd been paying more attention to how much damage they had on the board and how much life we had. Deck looks good again. Hand looks good again, I mean. So the rat ninja doesn't actually do that much in this deck. So I think that would be the one to swap out if you have some extra copies of the Stowaway or the Malison. Because the unblockable, having the unblockable creature to enable the ninjutsu is more important than having the cheaper cost. Since the it tends to be turn 3 before you get Satoru out anyway, you will normally have enough mana for the ninjutsu ability by turn 4. I can go with the Stowaway. Dump an island. I think we just... I'm going to wait a turn to select the Ghast, since we now get the Wolf. Which they're going to kill. Might as well select that. There's a Satoru. So we're going to be short of mana. See if Satoru survives the turn. Looks like he's maybe going to. The other thing is we also we have mana just to cast Toxrill next turn if Satoru doesn't survive. It looks like their deck is pretty loaded with removal. Guess they're gonna take a okay, I took environmental sciences. I thought they were gonna grab removal. Alright, so I can just cast Toxrill outright, which I think is the play here, rather than having to sack the Ghast trying to attack. So probably they have another binding or some kind of fight spell. Well, the other thing that using the ninjutsu would have done is okay, so Voronclex is going to stop my counters. can still just attack with Toxrill there. Okay, we get a slug. So we could get an extra draw. Actually, it definitely would have been smarter to not play that here, because if they're going to blood on the snow, then we would have had the extra creature up. But also, the Ninjutsu effect means with Satoru on the board, okay. Yeah, with Satoru on the board, I could have drawn a card off that Ninjutsu spell. So I have to choose once they pick their cards. Okay, I don't want to give them blood on the snow, so they can have binding the old gods. What are they going to target? We get another Toxrill. So, oh, they've got a flyer. I think getting the eye twitch killed is the only way we have to deal with Vorinclex. Let's see what they do here. Okay, they're going to block. They're going to leave 2 unblocked. So let's sub in the and we can more cards, I think, is the answer here. So we don't get another draw by subbing in the stowaway. Keep that up just in case we they play Blood on the Snow. Right, Huntmaster. Not too bothered about that once we can deal with Vorinclex, which will be next turn, as long as they don't make him hexproof. If we're lucky, we'll pull a negate here. Don't really need the gas treasure at this point. Right, so Toxrill's back in business. Question is, how much do we want to develop this board? I think the eye twitch is fine. Since we get something from it if they board wipe, but I'd rather keep the stowaway in case they have a blood on the snow. Rolling regrowth. Okay. So we've still got another Toxrill, Hullbreaker Horror, and the 5-mana dragon that pulls something from our graveyard that we can potentially draw into. I think the other Toxrill would be ideal at this point because it's going to give us more attackers. Nazca Exhibition seems good. I think we get the stowaway out now as a clock and a way to filter our deck a bit. I think the opponent probably could have killed us by now if they'd been attacking. But I guess they're worried about their life total. So it's not very good for us if it stays nighttime. We just go with as much as we can manage right now. Yeah, I guess we do this. It lets us draw an extra card. Plus play the eye twitch. It's going to buff the... I know this pack leader has the Alright, so we're not going to draw a card off Werewolf. But we are going to be able to take it to daytime. And he's out of wolves now to might as well have the mana up, I guess. Out of wolves to use the fight ability next turn if they transform it to night again. Alright, that's pretty painful. It's exile as well, so we don't get any value off the... Yep, that's not going to help. So, a bit of a risky hand to keep, but yeah. I was thinking to just concede if we didn't draw a swamp. Sometimes it's better when you've got nothing riding on the match anyway to just go on to the next rather than playing from a card down after a mulligan. I'll dispute this now. Teachings could be okay. Yeah, let's try that. Though I guess we I always forget when I sack an eye twitch. When I did the disputed eye twitch, forget about the 2 cards I'm about to draw. So we can Fading Hope the wolf. See if they're gonna buff it first. If they're struggling for green mana. Stowaway's okay here, I think. Attacking with both. This is the generous visitor's going to get out of hand if it stays on the board. Probably Satoru is a better play here. We can play the stowaway and teachings next turn, at which point, if they don't drop 3 cards this turn, we might be able to draw an extra card off that as well. Right, borrowed time. Do we want to bounce the Satoru? I think so. Get a scry off that as well. Don't need to land. Maybe drawing 3 cards off teachings is a bit of a dream, but we'll see. If they're still struggling for mana next turn, then okay, Catilda. Alright, so next turn Toxrill hits the board as long as Satoru survives this turn, which with 2 negates in hand should be not too much of a problem. Actually, just going to cancel that. We can bounce the eye twitch instead of the stowaway, so we still get the draw discard. Hermit as an extra counter spell seems good. Maybe we just discard the Hermit, then we've got it as the disturb creature instead. Got another negate. Werewolf just transformed because we didn't cast any spells. Too late for a Hallowed Haunting to make any impact. They're going to play it anyway, counter it. I think the opponent's going to concede after this. Yep. So that's how the deck plays when it actually works. And then the rest of the cards are mostly counter spells to try and protect the big creatures like Toxrill or the Satoru. So this hand's okay. We don't have a Satoru yet, but we have lands in both colours. I think I'm actually going to just sack the eye twitch this turn. Right, so we're playing against the Dragon Spark Reactor deck, which is one that I've been playing a lot recently, so I basically know how it works. I don't really have much to don't have the Exile permanent card, unfortunately. Right, so I need to get that blue mana out. So this deck doesn't play a whole lot of removal. Yeah, I guess we get Satoru out. Yeah, it means we're going to have to bounce him to play the Ninjutsu effect, assuming he can even go unblocked. Alright, Synthesizer. Probably not going to be able to play much with that. Maybe a land or a... Okay, Soul Ripper. This is a slightly different version to what I've been playing because I don't play the Soul Ripper. Okay, they didn't sack anything. Right, so Toxrill can come out this turn, but we don't have any targets for him. I still think it's better. We'll also draw another card off the Ninjutsu trigger. Okay, the opponent concedes. So we actually didn't draw a card off Ninjutsu, so that's an important thing to know. If you activate the Ninjutsu ability, bouncing Satoru himself, his first ability won't trigger. Maybe a kind of interesting rule thing. I guess it's to do with the way that Ninjutsu is worded. That maybe you bounce the creature as a cost of the Ninjutsu ability, so it doesn't go on the stack until the creature's already bounced back to your hand. I think it's a bit more fun to play than this deck, and it seems to work more often. This is a bit more of a gimmicky combo, but it can still be fun when you get turn 4 Toxrill as we did last game. Don't think we bother with the Silver Master at the moment. We are going to need a land next turn though. Okay, they destroy the unblockable. Can actually sack the artifact to Deadly Dispute, which I think is probably the way to go. We get to keep Eye Twitch and we get 2 cards instead of 1. Basically just a question of whether Eye Twitch or the extra random card was more valuable to us. We can bounce that this turn. Boing. We do need the swamp, so let's keep that there. Probably could have been better earlier to actually sack yeah, Twitch.
Power has lost its center. The core empire will rise again.
Nahiri down. Opponent concedes. So we had a Toxrill potentially to grab that turn. It probably helps that we've been on the play for all of these games as well. And with an eye twitch and a swamp in hand every game. Thanks for a quick start. Epicure. Let's keep mana up for Jawari or Deadly Dispute. Okay, they're playing Synthesizer as well. That's fine. Guess they're maybe trying to hit a land drop. Don't have them. Okay, they do have the mana for it. So they're going to hit the eye twitch, which is good. We can sack it. Opponent concedes. God, people really concede at the first sign of resistance these days, don't they? That was looking good anyway for Satoru next turn into Hullbreaker on turn 4. Even if we drew no lands off the Deadly Dispute, we still could have played the Jawari tapped. Looks good again on the play with eye twitch, no blue mana. But got the gas and potentially a search effect off the learn. Can't remember the name of the card. Environmental Sciences. Looks like we're maybe playing against elves, which is going to be bad if we don't get our mana, because they're going to outrace us pretty quickly. Okay, not elves. Some kind of death touch combo deck maybe. But they're not going to want to attack into Ghast with all these 1/1s. Suffering a bit from the lack of blue mana. If we don't hit it this turn, I'll keep our Twitch up. Right, there's something. I think I'm going to keep our Twitch up anyway to threaten the pack leader if they attack. The enchantment creature is more relevant. Right, well they're definitely burning their hand trying to deal with 1/1 drops, so I'm not too bothered about that. They'll draw a card off the books, but next turn they don't have as much to do. So Satoru can keep the pack leader blocked or kill one of these. It's probably not really worth trading into the Death Touch creature, but right, they've got another Devouring Tendrils. They don't draw a card off the pack leader this turn. Could go for another Satoru or for 2 cheap creatures. I think we go for the cheapies. Makes the rogue a 3/1, which is going to be much more, 3/2 even, much more threatening to the pack leader. Alright, so they still draw a card, but unless they can do something at instant speed, kind of shutting down their deck here. So they had another combat trick. Looks good, bring something else back. If it dies, if it doesn't die. Do they have another stupid combat trick is the question. Yeah, so it's probably, given what they've been building so far. I guess we grab Satoru back here. Okay, they cast something that didn't work anyway. So now they've lost their card draw engine. If they lose their other creature with all these combat tricks, they're going to... Okay, they do have something else in the deck. Not really going to do anything against Junji though. We just double block here. If he uses some kind of buff spell, we counter it with negate. And he can only kill one creature with one power. Okay, he had another fin. It's fine, we have the same play next turn anyway. Or we could just attack with both. Drop the Yuan-Ti. The only thing that kills us now is a haste creature, which they haven't had any of, like a Froghemoth. Yeah, the land's not going to do it. That's the game. So didn't get our combo off that turn, but the deck still held off just on the basic cards.